I've been using the Galaxy S10 Plus for 3 days at this point, and it's a phone I really like. But this morning, I had a friend come up to me who is a Samsung user. He's running the S8, and he asked me, is this a good phone? Should I get it? And this is someone who has been itching for the S10 for quite a while. He's skipped the S9. He's been waiting for this particular phone to come out. And he asked me, is it worth getting? And I was like, yeah, it's a great phone. I think you should get it. And he's like, but would you buy it? Like, obviously you got a review unit to check out, but would you go out of your way to spend money and upgrade a phone to this? And I thought about it, and that's what this video is about. The question made me think about this phone in terms of its value, like what features on this phone or what particular hardware on this phone makes it something that I want to buy. And I'll tell you right off the bat, it wouldn't be the big one. The S10 Plus that I have here, this is the review unit. As cool as it is, as nice as it looks, this is not the model that I would buy. The double front-facing cameras isn't something that I would use very often. Plus, I like the look of the circular hole punch instead of this pill-shaped one. But all of the S10 models have this super clean-looking front with thin bezels. And every time I pick up a different phone like the S9 or the iPhone 10, those screens just look so much more dated to me compared to this new super clean front because like notches and bezels just, they were a thing in the past, but the S10 just removes so much of it to the point where it just looks so different. It feels like just a completely different kind of phone. Now, there are so many other hardware features on the S10 and the S10 Plus that are really cool, like the battery sharing to be able to power other devices wirelessly off the back of the S10 is just like, it's cool. It's a feature that I know I would never use very frequently because I'm not someone that has a lot of wireless devices. Like I don't wear smartwatches, my earbuds don't charge wirelessly like that. But for the Samsung ecosystem, it's awesome. It just makes a lot of sense. And if this was a feature that was available on iPhones, like a lot of Apple users would just love this feature because it just makes sense. And to see this feature come onto a Galaxy device is really cool. It also puts pressure on other companies like Apple to implement this in the future as well. The battery life on this phone though feels kind of unremarkable. In the presentation, they're talking about how it has up to 25% better battery life compared to the last generation, but it's still considered just an all-day battery, and I still have to charge this thing every night. I am using it pretty aggressively right now, but it's definitely not like a 2-day battery at all. I also want to talk about their UI. It's now switched over to Samsung's One UI. It is a lot better. I will give them credit for that, but it still feels quite Samsung-y. I mean, there's a lot of nice features on it that don't feel as superfluous as older generations of Samsung software has, but you still have apps that you can't remove, and even though you can kind of remap Bixby this time, like you can switch it to either a double or a single tap, you can't completely remove Bixby functionality, but the software feels a lot cleaner than anything else we've seen from Samsung before. Now, if you are someone that needs or really wants like quick adoption of Android updates, I still feel like Samsung lacks in that regard. Like their updates come a lot slower than other companies, like the Pixel devices, obviously. But if you don't care too much about immediate updates, the software is excellent this year. One feature that I found a little bit underwhelming was actually the fingerprint sensor. So it's using an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. It uses sound waves to detect your fingerprint, and it's a little bit slower than I thought it would be. But the biggest issue I have with it is that I'm still having issues when my fingers are wet. It still doesn't read all that accurately or all that reliably, and I just thought that the ultrasonic system was going to fix that, but this is an engineering sample. It may be something that can be improved over time, or maybe mine is just not great, but a little bit underwhelming in my opinion. I want to talk about pricing because that's probably the most important question when it comes to whether or not I would buy one. And the S10 and the S10 Plus are devices that are very expensive, but the pricing feels, I wanted to use the word appropriate, but that's not really the right word. It's just that if Samsung had priced these any less than they did, it wouldn't have made sense for the company considering what they have here. Like they have the world's first OLED punch hole screen, but the star of the show is that S10e. They hit that $750 price point with a really compelling product. I think they're going to sell a ton of those, and over the course of the year, that price is going to drop, and eventually it's going to drop to what, maybe $650, and at that point, it's going to be so hard to beat the S10e in terms of value. Like a company like OnePlus, which traditionally puts out phones that are reasonably well valued, they're going to have a tough time to beat that kind of price to performance ratio. It's going to be, I think that's the phone to beat. The S10e, I think, is going to be the benchmark phone when it comes to mid to upper tier pricing. And the camera on all these phones, I was only able to use the camera on the S10 Plus, and it's an excellent camera, but I feel like at this point in 2019, all of the flagships have such good cameras. I feel like it'd be unfair for me to be like, this is better than X, Y, or Z. I feel like they're all just so good. Overall, Samsung this year, 3 phones, all 3 of them are such banger products. I feel like they made such good phones this year. To answer the question, would I buy one? Would I upgrade to one? Absolutely. The one that I would probably choose personally is the S10e. I feel like that has like all the features that I want in a phone that, is relevant to what I use. Then yeah, S10e for me, but I just think they're all easy to recommend if you can afford them. That's basically it. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it. See you guys next time.